don't want to go any further. It's dangerous. My friends are all dead. They were all murdered by people that look like this. I have been chosen.
The combination of gaming auteur Suda51 with an experimental Capcom in 2005 seems like a match made in heaven. The first game from the famed developer to be localised outside of his native Japan, with the assistance of Shinji Mikami as writer, Killer 7 would start life as a GameCube exclusive before the console's commercial failure would result in a simultaneous release on PS2. Strange, uncomfortable, and completely unconventional, Killer 7 mixes cult appeal, a striking style, and distinctive narrative with clunky gameplay and frustrating barriers of entry, leaving it more of a curiosity than an enjoyable game. Harmon Smith is a killer for hire, taking out targets he deems fit for execution, and while a wheelchair-bound sniper may seem odd, he has a trick up his sleeve in the form of 7 personalities that range from the cool Garcian to the chaotic lucha wrestler Mark D. Smith. His personalities will come in handy too, as the psychotic Kun Lan has begun spreading deadly, cackling monsters known as Heaven Smile. But before long, the game unravels into a far wider, more convoluted conflict which touches on politics, spirituality and identity. It starts off rather intriguing, but eventually spirals into something strange and somewhat alienating, with cheap shocks and a bewildering ending. Describing Killer 7 from a mechanical standpoint is hard, as it doesn't comfortably fit into a single genre. There are elements of Suda's previous works, with adventure game puzzles and exploration, but rather than navigate screen by screen, your character is locked to an on-rails movement, allowing you to move forward through the environment, change direction to return, and divert to other areas by swapping at pre-designated points. It's a strange system, and the controls are particularly odd on the DualShock. These troubles can be overcome, but it feels unintuitive. When you combine it with vanilla puzzles that rely on backtracking rather than intellect, it's an average adventure.
You're fucked.
Things get worse when combat comes calling. Each killer comes equipped with a unique, infinite ammo weapon, and each character also comes with special abilities. Cade can zoom in while she aims, Kevin can turn invisible for a brief time, and Dan can fire charged shots. Many of these not only are useful in combat, but also required for some puzzles. The shooting, on the whole though, is clunky. Aiming has a slight sway which, while not an issue in some games, is frustrating for enemies that require precision targeting. Heaven Smile monsters take many forms, some of which require specific shots to take down. Some come suited in armour, others only take damage in certain areas, and every enemy has a glowing spot which can instantly kill foes, but lining up that shot can be nauseating. These elements all combine for a frustrating time. There's a little bit of leeway, as Garcian Smith can revive any of the other personalities by finding their body bag in the location they died. But this is irritating, as you're forced to backtrack through areas with respawning enemies to reach them. Until you do so, they are locked from use, often preventing progress entirely. Fairly spread rooms allow you to save progress, use thick blood to upgrade abilities and swap characters, but these don't alleviate the frustration, with some areas seemingly designed to infuriate the player. When you consider using hints to solve puzzles results in being flipped the bird, this theory might have weight to it, but whether it is intentional or not, it is still a chore. And be prepared for a lot of it, as the game is uncomfortably long. Most players will probably spend close to 15 hours to finish the game the first time, and for the truly masochistic, Killer 8 mode is unlocked. Despite the boon of an extra personality, enemies can kill most players in a single hit, lack any notable weak spots, and take far more damage to kill. Why any player would want to subject themselves to such an experience is a mystery. Killer 7 earns a lot of points for style though. It's a striking game visually, with a flat, shaded art style that almost always looks flattering. Environments pop with colour, cutscenes shift in style ranging from anime to graphic novel, and the violence is dramatic, with streams of blood spraying from enemies when vanquished. The only downer is an ugly looking red bar which invades cutscenes and some severe slowdown in crowded areas which compounds the gameplay issues. The sound is just as impressive, with an offbeat soundtrack that works despite lacking sense at times, potent sound effects such as the horrifying cackle of the Heaven Smile, and solid voice work that's only undermined by sometimes uneven script and canned lines which become repetitive. Killer 7 is an oddball game that is as intriguing as it is infuriating. It's unconventional to a fault, eschewing so many conventions that it crafts an identity all its own. It's a bold attempt to stand out in an industry which, at the time, was becoming stagnant, but it lacks the gameplay chops to maintain pace. The clunky shooting, dull puzzling, and infuriating enemies make seeing out Killer 7's charms incredibly difficult, to the point that it just loses its luster far before the dozen of hours of gameplay are over. Unless your curiosity completely overcomes you, Killer 7 is an unusual game that doesn't capitalise on its traits.
May the Lord smile.
And the devil have mercy.